안녕하세요. 텍삼의 핵심을 알려주는 토크아이티 세미남 고성 PD입니다. 기업에 있어서 AI 시대의 승자는 더 똑똑한 모델이 아니라 더 믿을 수 있는 시스템일 겁니다. 많은 기업이 AI 프로젝트를 시작하지만 실제로 현업에 안착하는 비율은 매우 낮은데 가장 큰 이유는 이 숫자가 맞다는 확신이 없다라는 것 아닐까요? 이번 세미나에서는 얼마 전에 열린 스노우플레이크 빌드 2025에서 스노우플레이크의 치프 데이터 애널리틱스 오피서인 아나히타 타피스가 발표한 검증 가능한 AI 시스템에 대한 핵심 사항만 여러분께 공유해드리려고 합니다. 제일 먼저 생성형 AI의 가장 큰 고민거리인 할루시네이션을 스노우플레이크는 데이터 분석 분야에서 어떻게 대응하고 있는지 하나하나 살펴보겠습니다.
When business users ask questions, they don't think in SQL joins or table names. They think in outcomes, revenue, growth, etc. Now, how do you translate these terms exactly for the AI agent? The fiscal year definition is different for each company. The way you measure retention, similarly, has different nuances depending on the business. How do we give this context to an AI agent? That's what the semantic model comes from. It's the logical map that defines business concepts and metrics centrally so they're consistent everywhere. At Snowflake, we use semantic views to standardize our core metrics. Each metric has clear lineage, ownership, and validation rules. The next bucket is what we call verified queries. These are pre-approved business and computational logic that are human verified and help with our most nuanced calculations. This is what prevents analytics hallucination. When an analyst runs a SQL query and an agent answers the same question in natural language, both are drawing from the exact same logic underneath. If both get the same number, that consistency becomes the bedrock of trust. The combination of the semantic model with the right definitions and the right set of verified queries is the shared language that we give as context to the AI agent. And it's aligned with how your human analyst accesses and uses data at your company. And note that semantic foundation doesn't just help structured data. It's what allows agents to connect structured and unstructured data together, giving the full context of your company knowledge to your AI agent. Generative models are inherently probabilistic. They're designed to explore possibilities, not guarantees. That's what makes them powerful. But it's also risky for analytics use cases where accuracy matters. So to use them in production, we have to impose deterministic controls, making sure they behave predictably, reliably, and within guardrails. At Snowflake, we think about this in three core practices. First, we make it observable and testable. Every agent logs its full chain of thoughts for every query, so our developers can debug and understand how it arrived at an answer. In addition to that, we consistently evaluate performance against a set of, say, 100 ground truth questions with expected answers and reasoning steps. And we automate this evaluation, and we leverage the LLM as a judge to assess accuracy and consistency. Next, we enforce deployment patterns and gates. We leverage software development best practices like CI/CD with dev, staging, and prod environments. And before anything moves to production, it has to pass QA thresholds, accuracy against ground truth questions, consistency across sessions, and the ability to gracefully decline questions it shouldn't answer. Lastly, we iterate post-deployment. Once an agent is in the wild, you quickly learn how users actually use it. And it's almost never what you expected. We monitor real-world latency, accuracy, and in-product feedback. And we iterate on the agent as appropriate. And as we learn more, we also add new verified queries to it so that we continuously improve accuracy and performance over time. The key idea is that observability and evaluations aren't optional for production AI. That's what gives developers and users confidence that the system will behave the same way tomorrow as it did today.
좀 전 영상에서 Verified Query의 중요성에 대해서 언급했는데 지금부터는 실제 스노플레이크의 영업부서에서 어떻게 이것을 활용하고 있으며 결과적으로 영업 임직원들의 신뢰를 얻게 된 사례를 간단한 데모와 함께 알아보겠습니다.
Verified query is internally at Snowflake, they're able to see that my question that I asked is a very common question. It's part of a common use case. And the data team at Snowflake has built a very good structured SQL to be able to answer that question quickly for me. And it's telling me that by this check mark that this is a verified query. So I'm asking things other people are asking and being able to get an answer that I can trust. You can see here, it does go through the entire SQL. To be able to give me my answer. With the results, it starts to plan itself the next steps. One really cool piece here is Otter Solutions. It's the highest month-over-month growth rate at 711.98%. And all of this data is being then surfaced to me in a very digestible format, right? It's giving me the text answer, as well as it's giving me the month-over-month growth rate in form of a chart. It's really cool that Otter's so far out, but I'll take a look at that in a bit. And all of this then gets summarized for me to then take a next step on. So what do I want to do with these verified queries? I want to find a little bit more about, let's just see, what are the top reasons why these accounts are growing, and how can I action this within the rest of my business? Okay, perfect. With that, I've got the result. And what I think is really cool about this is it's showing me not only the result it went through, it's showing me how it got there. I was asking for two different things: the reason why these specific top growing accounts experience such high growth, and how I could use this knowledge to apply it to the rest of my business. It went out and found the information to properly answer the question. It planned its way to answer the question. It continued to look at the data that it already had, and then it produced a result. Now, these results are great. What are the top drivers of growth? But it's also referencing source material. So I know that even though this isn't a verified query this time, you can see that because there's no check mark here. It is showing me the source material. So the verified queries, those green check marks, perfect. The links to source material, if I so choose, I can go in and read a little bit more about why it's come up with the answer, because I can now see the answer, the cited source material. And that for me is why I really do trust using Snowflake Go-to-Market AI Assistant on a day-to-day basis.
This is one of the largest internal agents that we have deployed at Snowflake. It's built entirely on Snowflake Intelligence, powered by Cortex AI, and it serves more than 6,000 sales and marketing employees every day. But the real success story is in adoption and user satisfaction. The assistant answers over 12,000 questions a week, and we have achieved more than 90% Net Promoter Score with our early users. And here's why. Every answer is grounded in semantic views so that the definitions matches what analysts use in dashboards and SQL. All responses flow through governance framework, including row-level securities. And users can trace exactly where a number came from and how it was computed. And users can also see when the verified queries are used and what references are used, as you saw in this demo.
이 세미남의 원본 소스 영상은 우측 상단에 있는 카드 링크를 클릭하시면 보실 수 있습니다. 여러분 회사의 신제품이나 서비스 관련 컨텐츠 마케팅이나 웨비나를 진행하는 데 관심 있으시면 여기 있는 우측 상단에 카드 링크를 클릭하셔서 관련 토크아이티 서비스를 보실 수 있고, 관련 문의는 여기 메일이나 전화로 하실 수 있습니다. 테크 전문 채널 토크아이티에서는 데이터 저장, 분석, 보호 관련 다양한 전문가들과 언제든지 상담하고 소통할 수 있는 구해줘 데이터란 공간이 있습니다. 구글에서 한글로 토크아이티 치시거나 우측 상단에 링크를 클릭하시면 됩니다. 여러분의 좋아요와 구독은 컨텐츠 제작에 큰 힘이 됩니다.